Hey folks, this is Kalani. Well, it's official. The Shadowlands expansion has been delayed. I know there are a lot of mixed feelings about this news, and while we don't have an actual date to when it's been pushed back to, we do have at least something concrete to look forward to. The pre-patch for Shadowlands has a release date. We'll see all those wonderful changes hit live servers on October 13th. So we only have a little bit longer to wait. Both of these points or topics are big news, so let's sit down and have a chat about what the Shadowlands delay could mean for the expansion and what we think of the pre-patch release date. Before we jump in, be sure to pop by our live stream sometime over at twitch.tv/KalaniTV. We stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday, and we always love chatting with you wonderful folks, so I hope to see you soon. Let's address the elephant in the room first. The expansion has been delayed until later this year. That's about as specific as they got in the blue post. They're still working on when that could exactly be, but all we know for now is that the game will not be releasing on October 26th like we had originally been told. I know there are a lot of players who are angry and disappointed, but I know there's a lot of people who are actually happy about the announcement. Yes, Battle for Azeroth has been dragging on a bit recently, and yes, it would be absolutely amazing and wonderful to step into a new adventure, especially one that promises to be as great as Shadowlands. But there have been quite a few issues on the beta recently, and that's putting it lightly. While the leveling and the story seem to be in an alright place development-wise, and the vast majority of features and systems are actually in the game and playable, new bugs kept cropping up all over the place. Certain dungeons became completely unplayable, characters kept getting stuck in various stages of the Covenant progress and other main unlock sequences, and it was just a bit of a mess. It probably didn't help that players were using old template characters that were apparently causing all sorts of issues due to different types of skips on them. But with a full character wipe that just happened on the beta, we can hopefully get back to some useful testing going on again. And that's all without looking at balance. Oh boy, there have been some huge numbers tweaking going on over the last couple of weeks in beta builds, but we're still not really close to figuring out the whole Covenant ability, plus Soulbind ability, plus Conduit abilities, plus legendary balancing act that's going on at endgame. So am I disappointed about this news? Absolutely. Shadowlands looks to be an incredible expansion, and I am sad that we'll have to wait longer to step through those doors, but I am also very happy at the same time. If the dev team doesn't think it's ready, then it's definitely not ready, you know? They might have tried to squeeze this through if they thought it was close to ready, but obviously that's not the case. They've put their hands up, they've come to the table and simply said, it's not going to be ready in time. And that's fine. In fact, that's way better than fine. That's actually amazing. In the past, when you thought of a Blizzard game, you probably had one phrase pop into your head more often than others. It'll be ready when it's ready. Blizzard used to create these amazing, grand projects, and their release date would be when it's ready. That was a little frustrating sometimes because they would tease us with the good old soon TM all the time. But we knew when that game came out it would blow us all away. I don't think we've seen much of that Blizzard recently. Having expansions, patches, and sometimes even games pushed and rushed through development only to release with crippling bugs or game-breaking issues definitely isn't a good look. For the Shadowlands expansion, we've heard time and time again that they want to get this right, and to give this expansion a true coat of Blizzard trademark standard polish. And a lot of players were worried that we just wouldn't get it. There isn't enough time, not with this release date. They won't possibly ever push back the release date. There's no way. They're too focused on profit, or it's all Activision in control, or whatever else is being spewed about the dev team at the time. This delay on Shadowlands tells us otherwise. Pushing back a release date like this is a massive decision to make. It's not just a case of changing a few numbers and saying, alright, job's done. I'm sure there had to be a huge effort on the part of the dev team to actually convince the higher-ups that delaying this game would be worth it long term for sure. We don't know how long the delay will be, but we know that every week that they get is another week to iron out the wrinkles, wrangle some of those pesky bugs. Ensure that their servers work well. Maybe get some more of these stress tests in there to actually test those servers. We won't see any bottleneck quests that are just going to break the intro experience. Everyone will be able to enjoy the game when it goes live, and when we get to end game, we won't find it horribly broken and unplayable. It's more time for polish, for balancing, for raid testing, for covenant testing, and it's more time to make significant changes if that's something that they want to do. Everyone at this point has pretty much resigned themselves to the current state of covenants because there wasn't really enough time for them to do anything different. But this delay might give them the time. We could see some big changes to a few core parts of the expansion if that's something the dev team wants to do. I'm not saying this is the reason for the delay, but at least they have time to make sure the game ships in a state that they are happy with. They can slap that Blizzard seal of approval across the front of it without it peeling off in a week or two. If there was ever an expansion to spend a bit longer on it to get it right, it would definitely be this one. It would be the Shadowlands. I know I've talked about it quite a lot on stream, and I've definitely touched on it in some of the YouTube videos, but this expansion has an amazing amount of potential. From the setting, the zones, the leveling experience, the story, the end game systems, this is a real chance for World of Warcraft to see a massive resurgence. I know a lot of players got excited for Legion, and then it kind of tapered off. I know the excitement rose again for Battle for Azeroth, but it crashed right after launch. I think Shadowlands has the potential here to beat out both of those expansions in terms of initial interest and excitement, and to take it even further and really revitalize the game as a whole. I just wish the sub numbers were still reported, because I would love to see just how well Shadowlands does. So yeah, it is a little disappointing. I'm sure some of you are frustrated with being stuck in BFA for a little bit longer, but this delay could be the difference between a mediocre expansion riddled with bugs and an absolutely amazing experience. I would much rather wait a bit longer for a finished game 10 times out of 10. So I think I'm pretty happy with the delay announcement in general. I know it's a big sigh of relief from many players who have spent a lot of time on the beta. The delay gives the dev team time to get this right, and if they do get this expansion right, oh, we're all in for one heck of a ride. And then we come to Prepatch. I am so glad that we have a release date for this specifically, and that the dev team didn't delay the Prepatch with the expansion delay. If the Prepatch is ready to go and won't completely break the game, I think it's crucial to get that out to the players, even if the expansion itself is quite a ways away. The pre-patch brings so many much needed changes to the game as a whole that I think they can totally get away with doing a longer pre-patch this time around if necessary. We also don't have too much longer to wait. With pre-patch slated for October 13th, that's only 1 week later than our absolutely maximum can't go past this point guesstimates. But of course, those guesstimates were assuming we would get the expansion itself on October 26th, and that's no longer the case. But pre-patch still isn't too far off, which is great news. I know there aren't too many quests relating to the actual pre-patch event total, but who says the events have to start right when the patch goes live anyway? We could have several weeks of just chilling out and enjoying the game and system changes, and then before the expansion launches, start firing up the events. In fact, the blue post actually mentions this distinction. They say once we get closer to Shadowlands launch, we'll be called upon to defend Azeroth against the Scourge once again, obviously meaning the pre-patch event. Fantastic. I'm more than happy to have a few weeks playing around with the new leveling changes and getting all our alts up to speed ready for the expansion. At least it will be a breath of fresh air from what we've had in Battle for Azeroth for the past year or however long it's been. Remember that corruption will also be removed with pre-patch as well, so we'll have some time to get used to being not completely overpowered and reliant on that system for DPS as we head into the new expansion. I'm really curious to see how raids and dungeons will play out without corruption, especially Mythic Jaina. Hopefully we can continue to run that every Saturday and try and get you wonderful folks as many mounts as possible, but we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Either way, with the pre-patch date, we have something to look forward to, something set in stone, which is good to have when the expansion's release date is once again covered in mystery. If you're curious about when I think this expansion will launch with this delay, I think there are two very obvious windows. Mid-November, which would only really give them a delay of 2 weeks, and then early to mid-December, which would give them more time to get the game ready. Both the expansion release date and the raid release date, which will be 2 to 3 weeks after the expansion launches, will most likely avoid both Thanksgiving week and the holiday season of Christmas and New Year. So I could see an expansion launch in mid-November with the raid launching in early December, or the expansion going live in mid-December with the raid starting up in the new year. Those are the two big windows left in my opinion, but I'd love to hear what you think. When do you think the new Shadowlands release date will be? And what do you think of the Shadowlands expansion delay in general? Do you think this is a great return to the days of ready when it's ready, or are you just angry that we have to wait longer to get out of Battle for Azeroth? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to explore what's left of the beta, ask us a couple questions, or maybe even help us get ready for Shadowlands, you can find us over at twitch.tv/KalaniTV. We stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday, and watching the stream and coming to say hi is one of the best ways you can support the channel right now. And if you ever wanted to be included in the long list of names at the end of every video, a subscription on Twitch is the easiest way to make that happen. You get a free sub to any Twitch channel if you have Amazon Prime too, so be sure to take advantage of that. A big thank you to everyone who's subscribed on Twitch already, and to our supporters over on Patreon. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you want to join these lovely guys and gals, well, now you know how. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.